Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Was a rough day yesterday. Let's review what happened yesterday and get into today's games. We will start with the NBA. If you guys have an important comment for me, please use the @Gematria Effect News thing so I see that orange banner pop up out of the corner of my eye. We'll start with the NBA. It was the last day of February. We did like the Pacers. Things started off good there. Again, the game was in Indiana. Indiana equals 137, the 33rd prime. Perfect place for the Timberwolves to get the 33rd loss. That put them at 9-23, a record that has that prime number relationship. We see that so often. It was a date with 24 numerology. So the Pacers were a good read. That came through. The Warriors Magic. The one thing I was banking on is that the Warriors' next game is in Philadelphia on the 61st day of the year. Philadelphia equals 61. 61 is the 18th prime. I was going with the hunch that the Warriors would end up in Philly with 18 losses. That did not work out. The one thing I did mention is that Orlando equals 34, and could the Magic stay on 34 losses in Orlando? They did. So that wasn't a strong read either way, but I was thinking that 61-18 thing would prevail. Remember, yesterday was the 59th day of the year. Warriors equals 59. We pointed out the Magic could get their 17th home win or home loss. So if this category had given us a more clear read, we probably could have got that game right. But the 61-18 thing failed me yesterday, which is not typical. All right, Cavs, Knicks. Again, to me, anytime these teams are involved, it's just stay away because they're so unpredictable. We did point out that Cleveland and New York have the 48 connection. They both could have had 48 losses. Instead, the Cavs stayed at 24 away losses on the 24-date numerology. So it looks like the 24-date numerology was playing yesterday in the NBA. Again, date numerology used to always play in the NBA until recently, so we're trying to see if it's coming back. The Heat did cover the spread, so if you took the Heat to cover, you won this bet. We thought there was a chance they could get their 28th win on the 28th. Rockets equals 28 would have been a good team to do it against. Miami also equals 36. The Rockets could have stayed on 36 wins. But if you took the Heat to cover, you won your bet there. Remember what we said about Philadelphia? It was the 135th series game. That's the big Philadelphia number. By the way, Bryce Harper yesterday signed with the Phillies 135 days after his birthday. Bryce Harper equals 65 like Philadelphia. Philadelphia got their 65th win in their 135th series game. So 76ers, they had their magic numbers and they did prevail. The one concern was 76ers does have the Gematria 39. Both teams could have been at 39 wins with a Thunder upset, or a Thunder home win, excuse me. I'm reading Fra Bruce's comment. I don't know, Fra Brew. I think the whole Tim Donaghy thing is just like to make it seem like there's one corrupt official when really they're all in on it. And then the other game, this game surprised me because the Nuggets had that 18 thing going in the 61st game. They could have stayed at 18 losses in their 61st game, 61 the 18th prime. I was thinking that was a good read. Would have gave the Jazz their 18th conference loss, plus Jazz equals 18. Good team to stay at 18 losses against. So this game really did surprise me right here. This one surprised me. But the reads that were good, Pacers, that was good. 76ers got it done with their magic number. Heat did cover. I really thought they could have won that game. So it wasn't so terrible in the NBA. Had this game gone as expected, it would have been a decent day in the NBA, absolutely. But yeah, sometimes the consistent patterns just don't hit. But don't doubt the 61-18 thing when it comes up, because, it's a winner a lot more often than not. So college basketball, there was a game that really surprised me in college basketball yesterday. Gonzaga, no surprise. They usually blow out their opponents. Picked up the 28th win on the 28th. Let's see here. We got a call from New York.
Hey, Zach, what's going on? I see you going up reviewing the games from yesterday. I just want to make this quick. I saw a lot of streaks got broken yesterday. Oklahoma City had a 19-game winning streak versus Philly. The Warriors had an 11-game streak versus the Magic. And in college basketball, I think who the team that beat Washington? California. They was on a 23-game losing streak. So it seemed like the day that the underdog and all the streaks got broken yesterday. Did you notice that?
Yeah, there were a lot of streaks ended yesterday. You're absolutely right about that.
Was it a special number yesterday for all those streaks to end yesterday?
I didn't see the connection yesterday for the streaks to end. So it's a little bit of a mystery to me right now. End of the month.
I just want to break that point up quickly.
Yeah, well, you're right on. Yeah, the streaks did end yesterday, so thank you.
The Cal Washington was surprised.
The Tampa Bay Lightning were on a long winning streak, too, that came to an end. Yeah, there were a lot of streaks that ended yesterday.
Okay, I'll let you get back to it.
All right, thanks, man.
Okay.
Okay, so college basketball, like we said, there was no reason to think Gonzaga would get beat. Pacific picked up their 17th loss on the 59th day of the year, 59 to 17th prime. No reason to think Michigan would get beat. Chattanooga did have good numbers to possibly upset here or cover. They did not, and we've done pretty well in college basketball at that. It was the 59th day of the year. Wofford did become 17-0 in the conference, 59 to 17 prime. Chattanooga could have stayed at 17, and what we were thinking about was it was the 41st series match. Chattanooga could have got their 13th season win and also their 24th series win with the 24-date numerology and keep number 24 Wofford at 24 wins. So the read was there. The outcome was not. Notice Wofford scored 41 in the first half for the 41st series match. And then Washington could have got their 69th series win on the 69-date numerology. And that's been really good in college basketball, the series syncing up with the date numerology. So typical patterns did not work out for whatever reason on the last day of February. So, I mean, that was the thing about yesterday. I mean, just our consistent methods, they were not hitting yesterday. And it's going to happen sometimes. And maybe it's something to think about with the end of the month. Maybe there's something to the end of a month. I've never really had that thought before, but in light of all the streaks ending, maybe there's a different riddle at the end of a month. So I'm just throwing that thought out there, food for thought. No doubt a lot of streaks ended, and no doubt consistent patterns were not followed. NHL. Also not a pretty day in the NHL. Remember, Toronto equals 36 in both reduction ciphers. Maple Leafs equals 36. We were thinking the Islanders would stay at 36 wins against this very 36 team. Instead, they beat them with 6 points. The square root of 36 is 6. They blew them out. That was the only read we really had for yesterday. There wasn't a lot with the date numerology, anything. It was just that they were at 36 wins. They could have stayed at 36 against the 36 opponent. Didn't happen. Flyers, they had the chance to get the 69 points on the 69-date numerology. That also didn't happen. But like I said, if you take both games where they can get to 69 points, worst case scenario, you're going to net out and not lose. And in the other game, the Stars did beat the Kings on the road. So that's been a very consistent pattern. Unfortunately, it was 50-50 yesterday. That's not the end of the world. The Lightning Bruins was an iffy game. The Bruins had the better read for the day. They could have stayed at 17 losses on the 59th day of the year, 59 the 17th prime. They also could have picked up their 85th points in Boston, Boston 85, which they did. The one thing about the Lightning was we noticed that their next game after this one's against the Senators, and Senators equals 51. So we were thinking, does that mean they could win this game and get 50 and then get 51 against the Senators? But their winning streak came to an end. They were either on a 10 or 11-game winning streak. I think it was 10. Oilers, Senators. Now, the initial instinct was that the Oilers would win this game. The reason why is because Senators equals 30. They could stay on 30 losses, plus Edmonton and Ottawa both summed to 37, and Senators did get their 37th loss. Usually when we see two teams face each other that have that same gematria, like 37 and 37, and somebody can get their 37th win or their 37th loss, it almost always goes that way, even if there's other riddles on the board. And the other riddle on the board yesterday was just the fact that the Oilers were at 59 points on the 59th day of the year, and Ottawa also does stem to 17. So I said, they could stay on 59 points against Ottawa, but man, that 37 and that 30. So again, a note to journal. When two teams have the same gematria that can end up as a stat in the win or loss column, it does almost always go that way. Ottawa, Edmonton, 37, 37th loss. Canucks, Coyotes, there wasn't a good read here. That was a skip game. Panthers, Golden Knights, there was not a good read there. And then the Stars were the other team that could get the 69th points on the 69 date numerology. And that seems to be a stat that trumps other stats in the NHL. So not a very good day. Absolutely not. We had a great day before that. So brought us back down to earth a little bit. Some humble pie yesterday. And let me just scan the comments real quick before we get into today's games, just making sure I didn't miss anything. JR, is it common for the full and single reduction ciphers to be equal for the same word? The common, yeah. If wait a minute, is it common for the full and single? Yeah, because the only thing different between full and single reduction is a S. If there's not an S in the word, then it's going to be the exact same. S is the 19th letter. S is the only difference between full and single reduction, because S is either 10 or 1. S is 1 in full reduction, it's 10 in single reduction. That's why before Derek came along, I called that cipher the S exception, so people understood it was just about S. All right, let's get to today's games. Here, just for the guy with the question, just in case anybody else has it, look, let me get rid of the reverse ciphers so you understand what I'm saying. S is the 19th letter. The numerology of 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10. And then the numerology of 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1. It's the only letter you have to reduce 2 times. So that's why, you can have the rule for S. So if there's not an S in a word, am, it's going to be the same. Do. Does. You see? Plus 9 for each S. Okay. Let's get to today's games. Rebound day. Remember this Bulls-Hawks thing? We were talking about how the Bulls, they could get their 17th win in their last game against Memphis. Grizzlies equals 59, the 17th prime. But the problem was their next opponent was the Hawks, and Hawks is 17. So here we are. And now we're going to have the problem that I was saying could come about. It's hard to tell if the Bulls are going to advance off 17 or stay on it because their next 2 games are against the Hawks. It's possible they could lose both and stay at 17 wins. So today's date numerology. For the NBA, it's the 137th day of the NBA season, the 33rd prime. There's a chance that if we see 33s today, they could play strong. 137th day of the season, the 33rd prime. The date numerology that really matters today is 43 and 16. 43 is the 14th prime number. 53 is the 16th prime number. So date numerology that's most important. Our lesser method is 23. In the series records, 23 could come up. 23 is the 9th prime. It is the first. It is the 60th day of the year. So let's see. Nothing is standing out about the date numerology with this Bulls-Hawks game. So actually, let me get up M cubed here. NBA teams. So we do have a divisional match. Just see if there's anything with the division. All right, so in the division, Atlanta's 6-7. The Bulls are 3-10. And in the conference, Hawks are 12-28, and Bulls are 12-26. Okay. Let's see. It's the 241st game. That's the 53rd prime. Remember, today has the 16 date numerology. 53 is the 16th prime. Hawks going for that 113th win. But nothing screams out about any of that in light of the date and team name Gematria. Here, let's we're not overlooking something. Chicago's next loss is their 46th. Chicago Bulls. Well, the one thing that does stand out about this game is that the Hawks could get their 12th home win. Chicago's also 37, the 12th prime. So if I had to favor a team here, I would favor the Hawks because of that. It's a good team to get the 12th home win against. That would also keep the Bulls at 17 wins in this game against the Hawks. But that's probably the best read here. The 12th home win, Bulls 12, Chicago 37, the 12th prime. Okay. Hornets, Nets. And you're welcome, JR. Hornets, Nets. So I see 33s on the board. The problem is they could go two ways. The Hornets could stay at 33 losses. The Nets could pick up their 33rd win. And it's usually more powerful when you're going into it. Again, it's the 137th day of the NBA season, the 33rd prime. Let's see. All right, same conference, different division. The Nets going for their 23rd conference win. That goes with our weaker date numerology. Charlotte. Nets is 22 with the rule with S. I see the Hornets could get their 22nd loss. That would also give the Nets their 33rd win. They do play in New York. New York's 33 too. Let's see. Brooklyn. That's 53, the 16th prime. Nets is 23 as well. Charlotte. Hornets. Okay. Yeah, not a real strong read, but I would say I favor the Nets because of that opportunity to get the 33rd win and the 22nd away loss. Well, damn. You know what? The danger here as well is just the fact that they can get their 16th home loss, because that is in the date numerology as well. Yeah, that makes it more dangerous. Yeah, and again, the Hornets could stay at 33 losses, so it's a dangerous play. It's a dangerous play because that 16 date numerology. If that wasn't there, I would favor the Nets, but I'd say, yeah, I'd stay away. Can make that riddle either way. All right, Trailblazers, Raptors. Let's see. So the 16 date numerology is popping. They can get their 16th away loss. Trailblazers is also 53, the 16th prime. Thinking about anything else there on the surface. Let's see what the head-to-head is here. Hold on. Let me check the Hornets-Nets head-to-head. I forgot to do that real quick. Just in case. Maybe there's something that puts us over the top. 108th game. Nets going for 57. Hornets going for 52. No, it doesn't. That doesn't. 108th game. That's the 28th prime. Well, no. It'll be the 108th game. Excuse me. Yeah, it still doesn't make anything more safe. Okay, the 45th game, the Raptors at 16 series wins, coming in on the 16 date numerology. Trailblazers with 28 wins. Now, the immediate season records have been trumping the series records, meaning that it's more likely the Blazers get that 16th loss on the 16 date numerology than the Raptors stay at 16. And in fact, it seems more often than not when we see a team with the series record that corresponds with the date numerology, they're advancing off of that number. So let's see here. Let's make sure there's nothing else in the numbers. Raptors. Their next win is their 46th. Doesn't necessarily have to come today. See who the Raptors' next game's against. Detroit. The Hornets next. The Blazers next wins their 39th. If they lose this game, Charlotte's a really good team to get the 39th win against. So the Blazers could pick up the 39th win against their next opponent, which is Charlotte. All right. Raptors. Oh. The game is on ESPN, the 18 network. The best hope for the Blazers would be probably to give the Raptors their 18th loss on ESPN. I think the stronger riddle here, though, is the Blazers picking up that 16th loss on the 16-date numerology and then getting that 39th win in Charlotte. So, yeah, I just don't see a good reason in the numbers for the Blazers to win this game. The best bet's the series record, but we haven't seen that be a good metric. Teams staying on that win corresponding with the date numerology. And let's see how the Blazers are on a little bit of a road trip here. Let's see how far into this road trip they are. They've done well on this road trip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth game on the road. They've won 4 in a row. Yeah, I got to lead with Toronto there. Okay, Wizards, Celtics. So something stands out right away about this game. It's that with a Wizards upset, they would get their 26th win. Celtics is 26, and the Celtics would stay at 37 wins. Wizards is 37. Wizards 37, Celtics 26. So that stands out right away. That would also keep the Celtics at 23 home wins on a date with well, it's the lesser numerology. So I don't want to give a lot of weight there. You know what? I got to put out one more caution about the Blazers. There's something I just now I overlooked before. Blazers does have the Gematria 43, their shortened name, and 43 is the 14th prime. Well, this isn't more of a caution. This is more of a reason that the Blazers would lose the game, but they could stay at 14 away wins and pick up their 16th away loss, which would go very well with the date numerology. So the Blazers away record would be perfect with the date with a loss. And that this date numerology is the one that matters less because it's not using all the digits. Okay. But coming back to this Wizards, 26th win, keep them at 37. That would be perfect. See what the head-to-head are these teams in the same division? No, same conference. What's the conference standings for these teams? Celtics are 27 and 13. They could get that 14th loss. And the Wizards, well, the Wizards could also get their 26th conference loss against the Celtics. Celtics 26. All right. The Wizards next wins the 115th. The Celtics next is the 190th. Looks like they'll play one more time this year. April 9th. It's the 99th day of the year. Washington 49. The game's in Washington. What kind of streaks are these teams on right now? I know the Celtics are definitely on a losing streak. They've lost 4. Lost 4. And the Wizards have won their last one. Yeah, it feels like the Celtics are due to come off that streak, but the numbers are there. I mean, the 26th win for the Wizards, Celtics 26, staying at 37 for the Celtics, Wizards 37. So numbers say Wizards have a good chance to upset here. If you can get those 9 points, I think Wizards to cover is not a bad pick. Look at the last score one more time. Boston won with 130 last time in Washington. Washington's 130. So. Okay, Pelicans, Suns. So there's nothing jumping out with the date. Let's see what it is here between these teams. Tied, 28 all. Okay. It's the conference standings here. $17 and 22 for the Pelicans. And the Suns are 7 and 31. All right, let's see. New Orleans, Pelicans. Whoop. Pelicans. Suns. If you use the rule for S on Suns, it is 28. It's +9 to the 10, so 28. I do see that the Pelicans could get their 28th win against the Suns. Phoenix. Suns. You know what else I see is that if the Suns lost, they would be 7 and 23. 23 does go with our weaker date numerology. But just what it makes me think of is, again, that prime factorization, 2, 3, 7, and 42. The game is in Arizona, which is a state that has the 42 connection. Not a real strong read, but if I had to give an edge to a team, I'd give it to the Pelicans because they can get that 28th win against a fitting opponent. I'd probably stay away from that game just because the Suns are a bit unpredictable and it's not a super strong read by any stretch of the imagination. I noticed the over-under's at 237 too. That's funny. Okay, Clippers, Kings. So the date numerology is not there. Sacramento's a 3.5-point favorite. Clippers going for their 35th win. Los Angeles and Sacramento are both 37, the 12th prime. I do see the Kings could stay at 12 home wins, 37, the 12th prime. Again, we have that double city overlap. So the Kings are at 114 wins, the Clippers at 96. This will be the 211th game, the 47th prime. This will be the 4th and final meeting this year. The Clippers have won every game by 12, by 9, by 14. So they're winning by double digits on average. Huh. Let's check it out here. Are these teams in the same division? Yes. All right, so this is a battle for who's in the playoff contention. Clippers can get the 23 conference win. That's our weaker date numerology. Kings could stay at 23 conference losses. All right, let me. Kings. It's the 60th day of the year. If you use the rule for S, Kings is 33, 137th day of the NBA season. Sacramento Kings, 61, the 18th prime. Problem is Clippers can get their 18th away win or loss. Sacramento 62. It's the Sacramento's 62nd game of the season. Sacramento is 62. There's not a strong read here. I'm just wondering if the Kings can stay at 12 home losses, though, just because Los Angeles and Sacramento are both 37, the 12th prime. And again, it being the 60th day of the year, how that lines up with the Kings. So not a great read, but I would favor the Kings there because of the 37-12 thing. It's probably the best indicator to go off of. All right, Bucks, Lakers. Bucks, Lakers. Lakers need a big win. What I'm thinking is Bucks equals 11 in the most pure cipher. 31's the 11th prime. Big win for the Lakers here. They could even their season at 31-31. It is on ESPN, the 18 network. They're at 18 home wins. It's also going to be their 31st home game. The Bucks, if they get that win, they become 23-9. That prime number relationship, 23, the 9th prime. We see that a lot. Let's see here. $135th game. The Bucks are at 53 series wins. Los Angeles equals 53. 53 is the 16th prime. We have the 16 date numerology. The Lakers are at 81 wins. Their next is the 82nd. Let's see here. Los Angeles Lakers. Milwaukee's also 53. Milwaukee and Los Angeles both 53, the 16th prime. Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks 48. The Bucks next wins their 48th. I'm just thinking about how James equals 48, like Cleveland, where he comes from. The Bucks could get their 48th win. Bucks is 79, the 22nd prime. I believe LA Lakers is 79 too. Yeah. LA Lakers is also 137. What's the ESPN doubleheader? I just want to see if there's a riddle between these ESPN games. So you have two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. I think those are the top two teams, aren't they? Yeah. So you got the top two teams in the Eastern Conference. And then you got the Lakers and the Blazers. The Lakers season started against the Blazers. Bucks are on a 6-game winning streak. That's the 21st triangular number. Let's look at that streak real quick. The Lakers just got a win. Let's see the Bucks' upcoming game here. They play the Jazz. The Jazz. Utah. Trying to see if there's anything for the next game to get a read. The Lakers, who do they play? Suns and Clippers. All right, let's think about that. We've seen okay, so their next 2 games. All right, so their next home game. I want to think about what their next home record would be against the Clippers. Be a 32nd game. Just thinking if they could beat the Bucks and beat the Clippers, they'd stay at 12 home losses in the Battle of Los Angeles. Los Angeles 37, the 12th prime. Then again, I guess if they lost here and beat LA, they could stay at 13 losses. Actually, that's not helpful either because LA's got the 14 connection. Yeah, I don't see the definitive stat. What worries me is the 23-9 thing for the Bucks because we just see that prime number relationship and record so much, 23-9. You know, and again they're facing James 48. Where's the number 23? The word King 23, James 48. Do the Bucks get their 48th win and 23rd away win over King James? The Lakers narrative is to even it up at 31-31 against the Bucks. 31's the 11th prime, Bucks 11. But it's just hard to gauge what they're doing with this Lakers team. The Kings and Lakers could both get to 31-31 tonight. That's interesting. Yeah, Milwaukee Bucks does equal 48 like James. That is true. You know what? If the Bucks stay at 14 losses, they'd go into Utah with the right amount of losses because Utah is 14. You see that? If they stayed at 14 losses, they'd face Utah with 14 losses on the board. So yeah, that's a tight riddle. It seems that more lines up for the Bucks, but again, would be a fitting team to be 31-31 against. And what was the head-to-head again? That was the other riddle, that Milwaukee and Los Angeles are both 53, the 16th prime. We're on this date with 16-date numerology. So it's tight, that game. That game's tight. All right, let's just review NBA one more time. Bulls equals 12. Chicago equals 37, the 12th prime. Atlanta can get their 12th home win against a very fitting opponent. Hornets, Nets. There's the danger is this is the 137th day of the NBA season, the 33rd prime. The Hornets could theoretically stay at 33 losses, or the Nets could get their 33rd win. We have 16 date numerology as well. The Nets could get their 16th home loss. Nets in Gematria does sum to 22. The Hornets could also get their 22nd away loss. So very dicey game. I'd stay away. We have date numerology of 43 and 16. 43 is the 14th prime. With the Blazers loss, they're 14 and 16 away. That would go with the date numerology perfectly. The Raptors' next win is their 46th. Raptors equals 46. Doesn't mean it has to come tonight, but the number has some symbolism to them. The thing about the Blazers is their next game is against Charlotte, and Charlotte equals 39. So great team to get the 39th win against is Charlotte, which means they lose tonight. They're in perfect position for that. So I favor the Raptors there. If you can get 9 points, I'd take the Wizards to cover because they can get their 26th win. Celtics equals 26. And Wizards equals 37. If the Celtics upset, the Celtics stay at 37 wins against the Wizards. They'd also get their 26th loss. Pelicans, Suns. Another not so great read. The only thing that's really standing out is Suns does have Gematria of 28, and the Pelicans could get their 28th win of the season. So dangerous. And Clippers, Kings, another tight game. Not a lot to go off of, but Los Angeles and Sacramento both sum to 37, which is the 12th prime number. And the Kings could stay at 12 home losses. And then Bucks, Lakers. Ugh. Milwaukee Bucks equals 48. So does James. They can get the 48th win. Their next game's against Utah. If they win, they stay at 14 losses. Utah equals 14. You know, I guess I could also point out that Utah does have Gematria 22, and they could stay at 22 away wins as well. However, if they win, they're 23 and 9, and 23 and 9 is that prime number relationship. The argument for the Lakers is the Bucks are at 53 series wins. Los Angeles equals 53. So does Milwaukee. 53 is the 16th prime. We have 16 date numerology. So the Bucks could stay there on this date, and if the Lakers won, they'd be 31 and 31. 31's the 11th prime. Bucks equals 11. You know what else? Milwaukee and Los Angeles both sum to 37, which is the 12th prime. The Lakers could also stay at 12 home losses. So there's one other thing there. Could stay at 12 home losses. Milwaukee and Los Angeles are both 37 and 53. Yeah, so that game's dangerous. That game is dangerous. Tight reads today in the NBA. Proceed with caution. College basketball. Again, we'll have a lot more games today. I don't think there's many games today. All right, just Buffalo. Just Buffalo. Well, we have the 43 date numerology, the 14th prime. I see right away Buffalo can get their 14th win in the conference and give Miami their 14th loss. That's very likely. College has been following the date numerology overwhelmingly. So 14th conference win, 14th loss. Oh, this is Miami of Ohio. What's their name again? The Red Hawks. Red Hawks. Is it Miami of Ohio? Is that how they say it? I guess they just call it Miami University. Buffalo's the Bulls. So yeah, all I see, or I guess we didn't check the head-to-head. Let's check the head-to-head real quick. "45th game. The Bulls' next win's the 20th. The next loss is the 26th. That doesn't go with our date numerology. Yeah. Just what stands out again is that 43-14 thing, and that there's a 14 opportunity that goes in favor of the Bulls. Oh, hold on. I am seeing now that Miami could get their 16th win as well on the 16 date numerology. Shoot. Well, that one makes that a little more dicey, just the fact that Miami does have a narrative. I'd probably just shy away from that. Again, dual reading. Wait for tomorrow. Saturday's been great for college basketball. And just so you know, before tomorrow starts, I will put out a video later today of all the early games tomorrow that'll be going on before we start our live decode, and the ones that are going on while we're doing the live decode. So I will put out a video today of all the early games, just like I did last week. Let's see what's up in the NHL. Let's try to get at least a few good games today here. All right, Penguins, Sabres. So the date numerology is not there. I see Buffalo can get their 27th loss in Buffalo. Buffalo's 27. Let's see. "190th game. Penguins going for the 89th win all time. And the Sabres going for their 67th all time. All right, let's see. Zoom that in so it's bigger for you guys. Sabres. So the Sabres next win's their 67th. That's the 19th prime. Sabres does have the Gematria 19, but that does not correspond with the date numerology. Sabres could get to 67 points with an overtime loss. Buffalo. Sabres. Check it one more time. Nothing super stand out there. All right, what's up with Pittsburgh? Penguins. $241 the 53rd prime, 53 the 16th. That lesser date numerology at 23 hasn't played out real well on season records again. So I wouldn't assume the Penguins are going to get their 23rd loss. There's not a strong read here. Buffalo picking up their 27th loss in Buffalo makes a bit of sense, but I'd like to see something else, some other sort of alignment here. So let's see. There's going to be some better reads than that. The Devils, I see they have a chance at their 26th win against Philadelphia. Philadelphia 101 the 26th prime. We see how often those numbers come together for this city. 101 the 26th prime. 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 101 the The Devils could also get their 60th points with a win. Today's the 60th day of the year. That's another thing that stands out. Devils is 26 as well. The argument for the Flyers is they could stay at 26 losses. Jersey. Devils. New Jersey Devils is 69. Flyers with an overtime loss would be at 69 points. Philadelphia. Flyers. So the tricky thing here is the Devils are at 31 losses. They could get their 32nd as well. Flyers have the 31 and 32. Flyers. Let's see what it is between these teams. $246th game. Flyers going for the 115th win. Devils going for the 114th win all time. There's a chance they could tie the series at 114, 114. Let's see who the actually, for both of these games, I just want to go back and see who they play next. Flyers play the Islanders, New York. Islanders is 101 as well, 26 prime. Capitals is 27. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Let's see who the Devils play. I got the Bruins next. Two. Well, the Boston has that Gematria 32 as well. So either team could theoretically give them their 32nd loss. That makes things tough. Let me go back and look at the Penguins schedule too. I should do that for the Penguins and Sabres game just to see if there was anything there. Penguins play the Canadiens next. So the thing about the Canadiens, I know they have that Gematria 34. Question becomes, do they go in there with 34 wins or do they get it against the Canadiens? And the Sabres, let's see. We got Toronto next. Yeah, all those games are tight. Let's see. All right, Capitals, Islanders. Let's see. .217th game. Capitals have 108 wins. Islanders have 95 all time. Yeah. Capitals 27. Capitals 81. They could stay on 81 points against the Capitals. Notice Capitals has that 81. Something that stands out. Let's see here. Islanders is 38. Their next win is their 38th. What else is there? Islanders 77. Islanders. Check the next game real quick. Islanders schedule. They play Philly, that's right. What's up, man?
Hey, Zach, what's you doing, brother? Listen, this is a matchup of the Washington Capitals' old coach is now the Islanders' coach, which makes no friggin' sense. You win a Stanley Cup championship, and then you get rid of your coach.
Right.
So right now he's coaching the Islanders. So I don't know if you want to look at him.
Yeah, that's a great observation.
All right, thanks, sir.
All right, thanks, man. All right, since we got coaching history, let's see. Barry Trotz, let's see. Nashville, Washington, New York. He's got a lot of games, that's for sure. With Washington, he finished 205, 89. 123, actually. Okay. Let's see how many days it is from his birthday. July 15th. That's kind of like 157, the 37th prime. $229 days, the 50th prime. Washington has that Gematria 50. Interesting. Unfortunately, there wasn't a 50 on the board for this game. I realized both teams could be at 81 points, him facing his old team. That's something that stands out in light of Capitals being 81, and they have this coaching alignment. Who's the new coach of the Capitals? Todd Reardon. He's 47, huh? So the new coach in BC is 47 years old. That doesn't help out. But the 81 points thing is standing out. The fact that both teams could be at 81 and Capitals equals 81. It's the only thing that's jumping out about this game. So yeah, I imagine the puck line's 1.5 for the Islanders. But those 81st points, Capitals 81 is the only thing that stands out about the game. Very likely both teams are at 81 points, I think. Let's see. What did these two do last time they met with this coach? It's their first meeting this year. So they lost. They won. It's third meeting. They're 1-1. Washington versus. They lost at home once, huh? I just want to see how many days it was from that first time they played and lost. 95 days or a span of 96. Yeah, I'm just thinking that 81 points, the fact that one team sums to that, it's just interesting. And then they share the coach. Okay, Canadians Rangers. Canadians Rangers. Nothing with the date numerology, unfortunately. $629th game. Wow. A lot of games there. Let's see what stands out. Montreal is 35. Their next one's their 35th. Canadians. Montreal. Doesn't go with the points, does it? All right, let's see. New York. Rangers. So there's something that jumps out. New York Rangers is 76 and 77. The trouble is, with an overtime loss, they're at 76 points. With a win, they are at 77 points. So Rangers 37. Rangers. Yeah, that makes that one a little bit dangerous too, just because it could go either way. All right, Blues Hurricanes. 82nd game. Blues going for the 48th win. Hurricanes going for the 30th. St. Louis. St. Louis with the S's is 43, like the date. There. Interesting, both teams are at 74 points and St. Louis is 74. St. Louis Blues. Blues. Blues is 76 as well. Somebody's coming out with the 76 points to see if we can narrow down which team it is. Makes sense for the Hurricanes to get those 76 points because the opponent has that Gematria. Carolina. I can see Blues. Blues with the S is 23. So I'm just thinking the Blues could stay at 23 losses and get their 76 points against the opponent. Because it is true both ways, but usually it's like because the Hurricanes are facing that team, they can get those points from that team. We've talked about this before when we've come with this scenario. All right, Carolina. Hurricanes. So I'd favor the Hurricanes in this, again, because they can get the 76 points from the Blues and stay at 23 losses. Make sure. Yeah, those teams just have the dead even record, don't they? Everything is the exact same. That would keep St. Louis at 47 wins, too, in the series. St. Louis has that 47 connection as well. Okay, Jets, Predators. So Winnipeg, I know, is 38. They're trying to get that 38th win, but so are the Predators. Let's see here. Winnipeg Jets 61. $51 to 36th prime. Is a okay. Let's see what the Predators are. Predators. Nashville Predators is 83, the 23rd prime. We have that lesser date numerology of 23. I'm just thinking the Jets could get their 23rd loss against a fitting opponent, and the Predators could get their 38th win over a fitting opponent. So that has a little rhyme and reason to it. Just wanted to see something with the points, though. Let's see that. I always feel a lot more comfortable when things line up with the record and the points. That's when you can have that super confidence. Okay, but the riddle that does make the most sense here is Nashville Predators 83, the 23rd prime. Jets can get that 23rd loss. and Winnipeg equals 38. They can get their 38th win against Winnipeg. The only concern, though, is that Winnipeg can also get their 38th win in Winnipeg, which makes it a little dicey. But again, it is a fitting team for the 23rd loss. Let's see. "43rd game, 43-date numerology, the 14th prime number." Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's counting overtime. So Winnipeg could get their 14th win in regulation, 43 the 14th prime, or their 18th win overall. So that makes things a little more interesting for sure. With regards to the 18th overall win, Winnipeg Jets is 61 the 18th prime. Yeah, that makes things more dangerous. That makes things more dangerous. Today might be a day to just slow your roll, because unfortunately the alignments, they're not great today. All right, Golden Knights Ducks. Remember, Ducks is 58. Their next point will put them at 58. What's up, caller?
What's going on, Zach? One thing I observed from this game, I see the Predators. They haven't lost a game on the first of the month this whole season.
Huh? There's a pattern.
Yeah, so I don't know if the Predators and some Gematria can add up to the first of the month or the first to number one or something like that. But,
well, one equals 47, like Tennessee. Oh, it equals 34, like Tennessee as well.
Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah, they like 5-0 where they play every day of the month, and they haven't lost. So I was just thinking that can help.
Okay, well, that is a great observation. Yeah, it's a really great observation. So,
all
right, appreciate it.
No problem.
So Nashville undefeated on the first of the month. Does the trend continue? Yeah, maybe there is something to that, because again, 1 in Tennessee got that double Gematria overlap. Again, the riddle for Predators is they can get their 38th win against Winnipeg. The Jets can get their 23rd loss. Nashville Predators 83 the 23rd prime, but that series record just made me a little gun shy. And the other thing is Winnipeg can also get their 38th win in Winnipeg. But in terms of the head-to-head, the opponent names would line up well if the Predators get it done. Okay, Golden Knights Ducks. Golden Knights Ducks. Let's see. Again, date numerology is not great here. Knights. Nope. Vegas Golden Knights. Nope. Vegas. Let's see. Anaheim. Ducks. There's not going to be a lot of history here between these teams. Eighth game. So far, the Ducks have been dominated by this team. The Ducks are 1-6 against Vegas. 1-6. Yeah, there's just not a strong read there either. All right. Colorado Avalanche Sharks. So what stands out right away is Colorado equals 38. Colorado's the 38th state as well. The Sharks can get their 38th win against a fitting opponent. First thing that jumps out. Avalanche is 67. They could stay at 19 losses against the Avalanche as well. 67, the 19th prime, so that's there. Colorado Avalanche. If the Avalanche lost in overtime, they'd have 69 points. Let's see, Sharks. San Jose Sharks, 84. Sharks can get their 84th points at home as well. San Jose Sharks, 84. San Jose is also 83. So the only fear for San Jose is that San Jose is 83. If they lost in overtime, they'd be at 83 points. But make sure I didn't miss something. But yeah, this is the kind of this is probably the best read I've seen yet in the NHL. Just because Colorado again, 38, the 38th state, big number. It's like when the Broncos won the Super Bowl, they won it on the 38th day of the year, the golden anniversary. The word gold equals 38. Anyway, and again, Avalanche is also 67, the 19th prime. So a good team to stay at 19 losses against. I'm gonna make sure I can't find one more. See what the head-to-head is. '95th game. The Sharks are at 43 wins, and we do have the 43 date numerology. San Jose's 43, Colorado's 43. Doesn't mean they'll stay on it. Again, the immediate head-to-head season records have been better indicators than the series standings. So that is the only hope there for Colorado, is that they stay on 43 on the 43 date numerology. Colorado's next win's their 47th. That doesn't go with today. But getting that 38th win and staying at 19, it's the perfect opponent to do that against. So I would favor that Sharks team. Okay. Yeah, there just weren't great reads today in the NHL, unfortunately. Yeah, there's nothing really to write home about. Sabres could pick up their 27th loss at home. Buffalo does equal 27. It's not a strong riddle. The Devils could potentially get their 60th points on the 60th day of the year. Philadelphia equals 101, the 26th prime. The only thing is Devils equals 26 as well. And the Flyers could stay at 26 losses against the Devils, so it makes it a little tricky there. I'd see what kind of puck line you can get for this game. If the Devils are underdogs by a point and a half, it might be worth a go. Capitals Islanders. We talked about how Capitals equals 81. Both teams could be at 81 points if the Capitals win. The caller pointed out that the Islanders coach was the Capitals coach last year who won the Stanley Cup with them. And yeah, that is really weird. Why would you get rid of your Stanley Cup winning coach? So potential 81-point tie, Capitals 81. Not a day of strong riddles. That might be one of the better ones, and it's not a great riddle. Canadians, Rangers, there was nothing definitive either way. Blues, Hurricanes. The thing here is Blues equals 76. It would make notice both teams have the exact same standings. The Hurricanes could get their 76 points by beating the Blues. And because the Hurricanes don't have that 76 connection. So to me, it makes more sense, based on what I've seen, for the Hurricanes to get those 76 points by beating the Blues. Caller just pointed out the Predators have not lost just this year on the first of the month. They are undefeated on the first. If they do win, they get their 38th win. Winnipeg equals 38. The problem is Winnipeg can get their 38th win in Winnipeg. Nashville Predators does equal 83, the 23rd prime. If the Jets lost, they would get their 23rd loss. So it's risky just because Winnipeg can get 38 at home. Golden Knights, Ducks, nothing to go off of. Sharks can get their 38th win over Colorado. Again, Colorado 38 is the 38th state. They'd stay at 19 losses. Avalanche equals 67, the 19th prime. San Jose Sharks is also 84. They'd get their 84th points in the win. So the only scare here was that San Jose and Colorado both summed to 43. And the Sharks already happen to be at 43 wins in the series. So the series gives Avalanche a little hope, but I'm just thinking that immediate head-to-head season record looks good for a Sharks win. And that's been trumping series records. So overall, today's a really mediocre day for picks. Again, let's just go over what we got. If I'm you guys today, I think I just want to rest today. I'm imagining tomorrow college basketball will be good news. It's been very good news practically every Saturday. But what did I do here? How come hold on. I got to refresh this. Something's wrong. All right. Let's review the games. Why do they look like this? What? There we go. Okay. So NBA. I don't like Bulls and Hawks games, but the Hawks have another pretty good riddle in terms of their home win opportunity here. They can get their 12th home win. Bulls equals 12. Chicago also equals 37, the 12th prime. And that would keep the Bulls at 17 wins against the Hawks. Hawks 17. So good opponent for the 12th home win. Hornets, Nets, I would just stay away from this game. As we talked about earlier, the 33 riddle could go either way. It's the 137th day of the NBA season. That's the 33rd prime. Anytime you can have a riddle go both ways, it can come back to haunt you. We have date numerology of 43 and 16. 43 and 16. 43 is the 14th prime number. The Blazers could be 14 and 16 away. What else is funny is Blazers equals 43, which is the 14th prime, and Trailblazers equals 53, which is the 16th prime. So their away record could be very fitting to their name, and it would go perfect with the date numerology. Again, the Blazers' next game is against Charlotte. Charlotte equals 39. So I'm thinking if the Blazers lose this game, they're in good shape to beat Charlotte and get number 39. Raptors' next win is their 46th. Raptors equals 46. Again, they could get that anytime, but the Blazers' away record goes perfect with the date. Wizards. Wow, this was -9 last time we looked, so it looks like people are betting on Boston. And this game has a real chance at an upset. If you can get 10 points now, take the Wizards with the points because Celtics equals 26. They can get their 26th win. And Wizards equals 37. The Celtics could stay at 37 wins. And if the Wizards upset, they'll have matching records, 26 and 37, which will pay tribute to both team names. So Wizards got a good little riddle there to upset the Celtics. Pelicans, Suns, I'd probably stay away from it. If the Pelicans win, they do get the 28th win. Suns does equal 28. Not a strong riddle, but it is there. Clippers, Kings, another game I don't really like, but Los Angeles and Sacramento both sum to 37. 37, that is the 12th prime. The Kings could stay at 12 home losses, but wait a minute. As I say that out loud, I think I'm realizing something else. Yeah, I am. Suns equals 35, and notice the Clippers could – or wait, I'm tripping. They're the Kings, not the Suns. My fault. So the only thing I really see here is that Clippers, again, Los Angeles and Sacramento, both 37, the 12th prime. Clippers – with a loss would keep the Kings at 12 home losses. But, you know, for some reason, this potential 31 and 31 is just staring me in the face because it makes me think of the date, March 1st, 3-1, you know. Keep looking at that, 3-1. If they did fall to 31 and 31, they'd also fall to 13 home losses. Also March 1st can be written 1/3. LA's 13. So, yeah, I just watch out there. In this Bucks-Lakers game, again, I'm just wondering, can the Lakers make it 31 and 31? 31's the 11th prime. Bucks is 11. But the problem is the Bucks can also get their 48th win. And it's all about King James. James equals 48. Milwaukee Bucks equals 48. That would make the Bucks 23 and 9. 23, the 9th prime. LeBron wears 23. The word King 23. That would keep the Bucks at 14 losses on the 43 date numerology. 43, the 14th prime. For the Lakers, you know, again, the question is, can they get to 31 and 31 on this date? 3-1. And again, because we can make this riddle either way, I would just stay away. I would stay away from this game. It's really is a crapshoot when you can make a riddle either way. So NBA, maybe take a stab at the Hawks. Not a great team to bet on because they're so inconsistent, but the riddle is there for the 12th home win. Trailblazers away record makes perfect sense with a loss. Wizards, good chance to upset. With all those points, makes it a lot more likely to win your bet. Pelicans, weak riddle, but that 28th win, the Suns do have the 28 Gematria. Clippers, Kings, I'd just stay away from these last two games. I don't like them at all. College basketball, not a good day for college basketball. There's only one game. And again, in that game, Miami could get their 16th win on the 16 date numerology. They'd stay at 13 losses on 1/3. But in light of it being the 43 date numerology, the 14th prime, Buffalo could get its 14th conference win, and Miami could get its 14th loss. So I would just I would stay away from that game. Millett Hall's 43. Where they're playing 43, that makes me think that the 14 is probably more likely to play. But Oxford's 26 too, where the game is. And the Buffalo Bulls' next win is the 26th. Buffalo probably wins that game, but just because the 16's there, it's I'd wait for a better, stronger pick. Buffalo wouldn't be a great payout. They're a substantial favorite. And then NHL. NHL, unfortunately, is not good today. Again, just to review. Buffalo, do they get their 27th loss in Buffalo? Because Buffalo equals 27. That's not a lot to go off of, but that's probably the only riddle that stands out on the board in terms of going by the numbers. doesn't give me a lot of confidence. Devils can get the 26th win over Philadelphia. Philadelphia is 101, the 26th prime. But at the same time, Devils is 26, and the Flyers could stay at 26 losses against the Devils. If the Devils did win, they would get their 60th points on the 60th day of the year. So the Devils' riddle is probably a little bit better. But again, we can make a narrative both ways, so hurts the confidence. Islanders, Capitals. The only thing that I see here is Capitals equals 81, and both teams could have 81 points. That's where the Capitals win. I'd like to see something else line up in the win-loss column, and unfortunately it's not there. But if you're just hungry for some games to take a stab at, 81 points apiece with a Capitals win, Capitals 81. Canadiens, Rangers. Another game that I just stay away. There's nothing great here. The problem is New York Rangers equals 76 and 77. So that means the Canadiens with a win would be at 77 points. Problem is with an overtime loss, they'd be at 76 points. If you can find the Rangers as a 1.5 point favorite, if that's out there somewhere with the Rangers as a 1.5 point favorite, then I'd be willing to take the puck line for the Canadiens, because if they lost by a goal in overtime, which is what would happen, you'd win the bet, because it's very likely they're going to be at 76 or 77 points. So that's the only way I'd bet in that scenario. Hurricanes and Blues have identical records. Blues equals 76. If the Hurricanes beat them, they get their 76 points by defeating the Blues. So, it's probably the more likely riddle out of that scenario. But again, it's not super strong. We had a caller call in and point out that the Predators have won every single game on the first of the month this season. They're undefeated. If they win tonight, they get their 38th win in Winnipeg. Winnipeg equals 38. But again, look, Winnipeg can get their 38th win in Winnipeg too. That said, if the Jets lose, Nashville Predators equals 83, the 23rd prime. The Jets would get their 23rd loss. So if you want to ride that Predators winning on the first of the month, we pointed out that one has Gematria of 34 and 47. So does Tennessee, where the Predators are from. It's a thought, but I still get a little bit worried just that Winnipeg can get their 38th win in Winnipeg. Golden Knights, Ducks, I can't find anything there other than if the Ducks lose in overtime, they're at 58 points and Ducks is 58. But there's just nothing else there. So stay away to me. Sharks can get their 38th win over Colorado. Colorado's the 38th state. Colorado equals 38. If they win, they stay at 19 losses. Avalanche equals 67, the 19th prime. San Jose Sharks equals 84. They'd get their 84th points. I love all that. The one concern is the series standings. Colorado also sums to 43. So does San Jose. It's 43 date numerology. And the Sharks have 43 wins against the Avalanche already. That said, time and time again, we've seen the immediate season record be more significant than the series record. So if I had to pick in this game, I'd absolutely take the Sharks. But in the back of my mind, I would have just a slight little bit of worry about that 43 thing in the series record. That said, the Sharks record makes perfect sense by defeating this opponent, and the immediate season's been more important than the team history. So what I'm going to do is wrap this up. I'm going to put out a video later today for the early morning Saturday games, the games that will start before we start our live stream tomorrow, and the games that will be going on during the live stream. So look for that video. Again, Saturday's been really great for college basketball. It's been absolutely crap for the NBA. And just remember that going tomorrow. College basketball's been great with the date numerology on Saturday. NBA has not. So tomorrow I'd be focused on college basketball. That's where the wins have been at. I think over the last 3 weeks, we got to have around a 90% outcome for Saturday college games. It's easily been the best day of college basketball. Yeah, the only thing about the Celtics is it just feels like they're due for a win. But with those 10 points, you know, that's a lot to cover. So, all right, you guys, let's get back. We had a good week. Yesterday sucked. Yesterday was the down day. They happen. Really today, I mean, I know you guys, some of you guys, you just got the itch. You got to put some money down, but there's not a lot of great things out there today. So buyer beware. Oh, here Izzy's calling in. Let's see what Izzy's got. What's up, Izzy?
Hey, I just want to point something out for that game, for the Chicago game. The Chicago against the Hawks game. As far as for the last meeting, the Hawks blew the Chicago Bulls by 20 points. They won 121-101, and so there's a revenge narrative going for the Bulls. And not only that, I also noticed that the injury report, which can be a clue to what's going to happen. This is Collins. This is John Collins is questionable with flu. John Collins, Collins is a surprise addition to the injury report after apparently waking up with flu-like symptoms. Collins is coming off a monster 34-game 8-rebound performance on Wednesday win over Minnesota, and it will be a big loss for the Hawks on Friday night. Expect the second-year stud to be a game-time decision against Chicago. So keep an eye for everybody, all the games. Keep an eye for late scratches because that could bite us, at the end. Just want to point that out.
Okay, I'll point out that flu equals 12, and the Hawks can get that 12th win at home, like we've been talking about. And again, I don't really worry about who's sitting out because that's the kind of stuff that gamblers go for, and that's why they end up picking wrong. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah. All
right. Thanks, man. All right. Yeah, I mean, the Hawks are always a risk to bet on. But again, Bulls equals 12, Chicago equals 37, the 12th prime. They can't get the 12th win. That would keep the Bulls at 17 wins against the Hawks 17. So, when you bet on the Hawks, you're in risky territory. We've seen them play out, though, 2 or 3 games in a row where things did follow the patterns we're used to. So. All right, you guys, we'll wrap it up right there. I'm going to put out that video later today with the early Saturday game, so look for that. And again, be careful today. There's no super great reads today. Absolutely not. So be back tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern. Have a great rest of your day, and good luck, Truth Seekers.